By default, any column text I have, or any area text I have in InDesign is going to be a single column. I also want to point out that I have turned on show invisible characters. That's where is that? View? No, it's under type. Hide hidden characters. So it's a toggle switch command option I. So type show hidden characters, and what that allows me to see is whether there's more than one space. So the spaces are blue, paragraph, this is a tab, and I can see all the characters that are there. If I had say I had a soft return, like a shift return here, that looks like this character. There are other things involved. There's that little curly thing says that's the InDesign itself put the line break there. So, but I can see the invisible characters, which can be helpful when I'm trying to see whether I have too many spaces, or sometimes if I've played with letting there might be an extra paragraph return, but it's small, so it's hard to see. But one column. Now on your desktop machine, there's probably a thing out about here that allows you to change the number of columns. I'm on my laptop, and so the control for adding another column isn't showing up here. Let's see, is it in here? I don't see it here either. But regardless of whether you can see it or not, I can always go to type, where is it? Type, oh no, sorry, object, text frame options. This has a quick key command, it's Command B. It's an easy mnemonic device. If you want, just think text frame options and Command B. No, there's no connection. I don't know. They ran out of quick key command letters, apparently. Command B, text frame, I think sometimes text box. Anyway, it gives you this control palette, which the first thing it'll tell you is what number of columns do you want to have. So if I want to make this 2, it will flow my text into 2 columns. And I can also control the margin between, the gutter between those columns. So on your menu, you might want to make it a little bit bigger so we can space those out. But in general, zoom in a little bit more here. In general, text in more than one column is going to fit better in vertical space than a single column will, because the text flows. So I'm taking up less space from here to here, and it's a nice option to explore. I mean, I could also see what happens if I get 3 columns and less gap between them, and I can squeeze it even tighter into that vertical space, depending on what kind of text I have. But I'm going to go back to just my 2 columns, and that's basically it in regard to the columns. There is, though, additionally here, I didn't do this in class because, to be honest, I just learned about it today, but if I'm working with a header paragraph in a text block that has multiple columns, I might want this to be centered over both of these, but there's a problem, right? There's only one column. But if I click inside this paragraph and I come over, let's see, I'm going to go over here, and I can come down to, let's see, span columns right here. And then I can say that for this paragraph, I want it to span columns, want it to span all of them, okay. And because it's centered, now it's centered over the top of both of those. And so any returns or anything like that will automatically center this text over those 2 columns. It's just because I have the text align set to center that it's aligning where it is. Now, another thing that I can do that's pretty handy that I can address directly from the paragraph window is if I want to add some space after my paragraph. This is So this is space before, and this is space after a paragraph. So if I know I want a specific amount, like, I don't know, 12 point, I can do that. Now, I have a paragraph style that's assigned to this paragraph, and when I add that space after, it's not affecting the rest of these paragraphs because I haven't updated the style yet. But if I come to the description and say redefine style, now, that's weird. Okay, it's catching up. Now I've got a space after every paragraph. So that space after is a really good way to control the continuity of your spaces after. You could do space before also. I'd recommend either space after for every paragraph on your page or space before. Otherwise it gets kind of confusing because you're like, why is there that much space? And it's because you've got both of them working.